Yeah, welcome back everybody. I've been down here cleaning a little bit this morning and I was awful curious about these sleeves, how good they were. So I went and I sandblasted one. And good thing I'm changing them. I'll show you here the problem. I got a piece of sleeve there that I cut out. But this right here is 95 thousandths thick, this wall. And right here, you can see where that electrolysis had been happening. That right there is 43 thousandths thick. That's getting pretty thin. And that happened to be just one of them. I mean, on that particular sleeve, there's dozens of those holes like that right above the O-ring. Electrolysis, that's all it is. It happens. It happens more with water. It will not happen as bad with antifreeze if you have decent antifreeze in and the pH is where it's supposed to be. That's why they recommend, every 4 or 5 years you change your antifreeze in a vehicle. After a while, the pH does get off. When they recycle it, they go back, they filter it, they make sure that it's the right strength that it needs to be, and they change the pH. I don't know how they change the pH, but they can change the pH and put it back where it belongs. And that's how you get recycled antifreeze. But anyway, the sleeve, this is just the bottom of the skirt. This here is an actual section of the sleeve. And I don't know if you're going to be able to pick that up or not. But I can still see the cross hatches, right by my finger. And there's absolutely no wear here. There's nothing you can feel. Them sleeves would be pristine if it wasn't for all of the fact that when my father packed this and let it set for 15 years, he never did anything to it. He just backed it into the building, drained the water out of it, and left it sat. And just from humidity, hot and cold, this stuff in the cylinder sweats enough. Eventually the motor stuck a little bit, and it weren't stuck bad. I could move it a little bit, but it wouldn't make a revolution. And I came home and I put some oil in it and I turned it over and, it started right up. And the problem wasn't necessarily all these pits, because those pits are pretty superficial. I wouldn't hesitate to run a machine like that. I'd say it would be fine. But the bad part is, 4 or 5 years down the road, I'd start getting water into my oil. Because that's pretty well through, and I don't know if there's some other ones that are worse. I know there was 15 or 20 spots like that around that. I'll actually show it to you. Yeah, so you can see them here. These little pock marks, that's all electrolysis. Some of them are pretty good size. Some seem deeper than others. There's electrolysis under these dark spots. That's all rust. So, yeah, I just cut one apart just so you could see it. It's really too bad. The cross hatches in these, don't know if you can see that, if it'll focus on it, but yeah, it's pretty darn nice. But anyway, they're junk. So it's another $300 to add on to the build. I'm still right around $1,500. And that's buying a new seat, that's expensive, and just buying a bunch of other incidentals. It doesn't have a, put that down there. It doesn't have a touch control hooked up. I'm going to hook that up. And it doesn't have any thermostat. I'm going to hook that up. A lot of little stuff, front pulley, it's worn. I'm going to fix that so it won't leak around the front pulley. And other than that, everything's looking pretty good. I haven't even looked at buying anything for that yet. I don't know if I'm going to tear into the front end this year or not. We'll see here how long it takes me to get this thing back to where that needs to be put on. But anyway, I just wanted to show you that sleeve there, how much damage can be done by setting. We should have pickled this. We should have had it running and throwed the Marvel Mystery Oil right to it until it stalled. And then, you follow the plugs out. And then when you want to get it running 10 years down the road, you just put a new set of plugs into it. and that'll keep all that rust out of there. I don't know if I could ever find the booklet, but I got a booklet upstairs that Carol's first husband there got from a college seminar that says that in like 2 weeks' time from a tractor setting, it actually says how many tenths of a thousandths worth of surface rust will be in a cylinder if you've had hot and cold weather, and how many thousands of starts you can do. Basically what they're saying in this whole thing is that your tractor gets wore out by starts with a little bit of surface rust on the cylinder, and it's not even enough you can visibly see it, but it's there. It's this microscopic layer of a little bit of rust. And basically, if you start them every couple days and run them, they'll last longer than if you let them set for 3-4 weeks. Start them up, use them for a while, and then let them set. And it was quite an article that they have done about oil studies and everything. And of course, this was done back in the 70s. So maybe today's oils are a little better than that. Maybe they cling to the walls a little better. Not sure. But it's an interesting read. If I happen to run across it again, I'll video the pages so that you can read them. It's a pretty interesting read. But anyway, yeah. So the block's good on this, near as I can tell. Just wicked dirty. We're going to clean that up. I got new sleeves coming. This has got the biggest bore diameter on the base. It's 3.54, I think it is. The other one has to be like 5.3. There's like 10 or 20 thousandths. I don't remember now, but there's a difference anyway. This one's the bigger ones. So yeah, that's where we are with this old girl. Not having antifreeze in it didn't do any good. Probably if it had antifreeze in it, probably we wouldn't be changing out the sleeves and the pistons. But you know, that's neither here nor there. It's done now. So yeah. I'll bring you back in a little while when I get doing something else interesting. Another thing I just realized here, I was getting ready to pull a cam out, which is just 2 bolts, but and I'm looking here, that cam is starting to come off the camshaft. So we'll have to look at that, see what happened there. If I can't find anything other than the fact it's worked a little bit, I'll probably press it off and put a little bit of Loctite on, put it back in. Yeah, you can't have that kind of stuff. That'll actually ruin a camshaft quicker than hell, being sloppy like that. They're not supposed to travel that way. Anyway, I'm going to get it apart here and we'll see what it looks like. Well, I got it out. I've looked at all the lobes. All the lobes look fine. It hasn't ruined anything yet. But it's definitely moved out about 1/8 of an inch. You know? So, yeah, we're going to end up fixing that. Nothing's really loose, but it has worked off. So what I'll do is I'll push it off and I'll put some green Loctite on it. Something that's not wicked aggressive, but will hold that on to make sure it don't move. And I'm actually toying with the idea of putting a Dutchman in it. They're both cast iron, so they shouldn't drill too inconsistent. I may go right in the middle and put a Dutchman after I put it on. And I may even do a Dutchman instead of the Loctite. I'll let you know what I decide on that. But one of the few things that I do like to keep track of, I will mark this one number 8 because it's at the back of the motor. And I'll take all these out and I'll mark them. That's one of the few things in an engine that I keep track of. You know, your rods need to go in where they're supposed to go. Not that it matters on the numbering, but certain engines, if you get the numbering wrong, some of them have oil pickup holes on certain sides, and if it's a V8 or a V6 and they pick up oil through that oil hole, or it's a oil squirter that comes out of the rod, sometimes you can get frigged up where they won't run right. You'll lose an engine because of it. So you just good practice to always keep the numbers headed towards the camshaft. That's the way they do on a inline. And anyway, yeah, so we'll go ahead and this is one more thing to fix. Amazing how much I'm finding wrong with this thing as I go. But anyway, we'll have it like new here in a few days. Well, after pouring through my stuff here for a while, I realized that I had some nice 5/16 coarse thread set screws. And I'm not really caring about what's on the bottom. All I want is the actual thread. That's how a Dutchman works, is the threads hold. So anyway, we'll set that over there. And, yeah, I got to put some drills away here. I got to organize them. But anyway, we'll put them over there. We're going to put one of them Dutchmen right on the bottom, right on the top. Going to do it by hand. I've got it pinched between some wood here, very gently, so that I won't break nothing. It took about 1,000 pounds of pressure probably to shove that on, which is not enough. Over time it vibrates out. So anyway, we'll see here what we can do. Once I get a pilot done, 5/16 right here, number 18 threads per inch is a letter F. So we'll grab an F drill here in a little bit and we'll go after it. Hopefully these will both drill about the same. Looks like it. Yeah, seems to be looking pretty equal. I'll bring you back in a second when I get a drill. Now we'll see here if we can drill this in a little ways. Yeah, it looks like it's going into both. It's a little more in the gear, but I'm not worried about it as long as the threads go in. Now, we'll try this one. All right, I haven't gone through yet, but I'm not too far off. I'll get a 5/16 tap and we'll see what we can do. Yeah, we'll see if we can start this here. If I have too much trouble, I'll get a guide. But it looks like it's gonna go. Oh, easy. Come on. These spiral taps, they tend to break easy, so I kind of go, oh, come on. Go a little cautious with them. Let's take that out and see what we got. Got to go get an air check. Okay, let's see where we're at here. Oh, look at that. Right flush. Oh, yeah. That's what we want. We'll spray that out with a little bit of brake clean to make sure there's no trace of oil on it. And we will put some Loctite in that. And that one is done. We'll see how the other one works. If I can get it started. There we go. blow that out and then go in a little further. Come on. There we go. See where we ended up. Oh wow, perfect. No holes went through, so that means that's what you got to make sure, that you don't go through and hit the so if you drill through this gear, you'd kind of be screwed, I guess. Yeah, nothing goes through. That one I went about 1/8 of an inch further, I guess, but it's all right. As long as it didn't go through, it doesn't matter. So we'll set them out of the way. I'm going to go get a little brake clean, do a little spraying in that. I'll do that off camera because I want to move the camera out of the way. Okay, so this is your red 271. I'm not going to use that because if we ever want to get this apart again, I don't want to have to sit there with torches. But we got some of this regular. Oh, guess I got to get it to come apart at the right spot if I can. There we go. I ain't used this one that often. Usually I use the heavy duty stuff, but yeah, we'll put just a drop in each one. Put a drop on this dandy. It's pretty thin stuff, but it'll dry out. It's squeaking on the way in. That's a good sign. Beautiful. Put a little bit on that. Oop. Guess I got plenty on that one. Yeah, 2 Dutchman. By the time that Loctite all sets up, oh yeah. A couple of Dutchmen saves the day. Yeah. And that is just barely. That is proud a little bit. Maybe, I don't know if it's even 10,000ths, but yeah, I'm not going to be able, I don't want to break out the back of the hole there. That would be bad because that rides on the thrust plate here. So we're all still good. That camshaft is fixed. Yeah, I hope that might have helped somebody. That's what it looks like when it's all done up close. It's pretty neat. And yeah, a couple of Dutchmen. So that's the procedure for putting them in. And this one here might not be quite 100% in the middle, but it doesn't matter. As long as you run them set screws in good. It's all that matters. So anyway, I'm going to keep cleaning on stuff, and I'm not going to film anything else today. This is going to be enough for this video, and hope it helped everybody. And yeah, keep safe, and don't hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe and all that good stuff, and we'll see you on the next one.